So we've been in a relationship for 17 years.
Don't you know, sometimes I complain and I tell you that, but you're saying so much. Why don't you get the point? Then I drank tea, then what? Then so and so came, then what? Then we did this, then what? Then what?
Feel relatives have impacted in our relationship.
So much, as in like,
Yeah.
please send me money, please send me. I like, man, please.
And I stop calling Edward asking him for money.
I've won them several times on different
but they don't
videos.
Want to listen, eh?
People, why don't you want to listen? When do you put a distinction and say this is stupidity? You understand? You have to. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, people are stupid to a certain level. Yeah. You just there it's not a dream.
Basically.
But not in a bad way. No?
How did you manage your worst conflict?
And that's when it comes back, and then I say, "Gwe, Obadechi, Tojukira, for you when you are beating my mom, weren't you splitting a family? You understand? Oh, we are not allowed to talk about that."
Because a lot of times the stigma is on the victims and their families, and it should be on the perpetrators of domestic violence.
Yes. I told you those days when I was crying over that issue, when I remembered what happened in detail. But I know they say is guma. Like, be strong, be strong. If you leave the home, you have a kid. But now you know Ugandans, they are going to go back to default setting. Me, when that lady was burnt, I sat down and I said, the whole day I was like, even
you were triggered.
Yes, even just like 2 days back when they did the burial or something, they showed on BBC.
And the way trauma works, especially when it's unprocessed, is that a part of your brain is kind of stuck there in the past. It's not moving forward. That's why every time you keep on reliving these experiences. Hi guys, welcome to our channel. My name is Cissy and this is Edward. And in this video, we're going to be talking about how, well, we've been married for 7 years. We just celebrated our 7-year anniversary. And prior to that, we were together for 10 years. So we've been in a relationship for 17 years. And yeah, I just thought I would ask Edward, how has the relationship been for you on your side, for me on my side? And also I asked on Instagram my followers about what questions they would like answered. So I have a few questions that they asked. Yeah, so Edward, welcome.
Thank you.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you so much. Happy anniversary to you too.
Thank you. And yeah, so how has the marriage been? 7 years in. How are you feeling? How's things?
I feel great. I feel in great shape.
What were your expectations before getting married and after?
I expected it to be the same, like basically nothing much. But I expect things to be normal, not the traditional things of kneeling and what and all that sort of thing. I did not want that in my life because I don't believe in that sort of thing.
You don't believe in kneeling?
Yeah, I don't believe in kneeling and the cultural side of things. I don't believe in that because I feel like it's a bit disrespectful and all that.
To who?
To the person, to the other person.
The kneeler or the one who's not being kneeled for, or what?
The kneeler. I feel like the kneelee.
The person kneeling.
I feel like the kneeler is the one who suffers the most. Like if you've ever knelt, down, like probably if there's a stone or something, you can feel it or something like that. Yeah, but generally it has been fine, but of course some challenges here and there, especially external challenges. Yeah.
External challenges. So when you say external challenges, what do you mean?
Relatives.
You feel relatives have impacted in our relationship?
So much, hasn't it? Yeah, because like my mom and dad, my biological dad beat my mom when I was 3, and then that sort of thing. So it creates a division, and then there is other person, the auntie, who comes in, and then she's trying to be kind of like the moderator who wants to this, and then I view my dad in a certain way, which is whereby also I'm not allowed to talk about what happened in the past. Yet I feel I want to talk about what happened in the past, but they don't let me talk about it. She keeps on saying that you can't say such a thing. You can't talk to me, young boy, young, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I come to ask myself, at what point does a person stop being a boy whereby they can talk to their parents over certain issues? Do you have to wait for them to die and then
to talk to them or to talk about
about it, that maybe well, you did this in the past, you did that, you did not pay for me school fees, you know, such issues. You've misled your life, you understand? You've given birth to kids, and then the kids, you're not paying school fees for them, and other people are carrying the burden. You understand? You're not allowed to ask such questions.
Yeah.
But then the people who are trying to pay the school fees, then they turn to me. They start asking me that, oh, we are stuck now here, this and this. Please send us some money. So I'm like, I cannot, because me in my heart, there is a person who paid for me my school fees, a person I went with to get the loans, because I used to go from 10 years, that was P4. My mother took me to Subi Bank. If those who know Uganda, you know, around Hotel Equatoria, there was Subi Bank, owned by, I think, by Karim at Hotel Equatoria, around there. You know, Sudid and Karim used to be close friends. So they used to give money, whatever, loans, and my mother used to save there some money, goes and gets the money, then they kind of give her like an overdraft. So you imagine at the age of 10, I knew such terms like there is a loan, you have to pay back, there is interest, you understand? So I'm in class, but I know that, you know, I'm on borrowed money. I'm in class, but I'm on borrowed money. Yet someone is out there just enjoying life. Every single time I go for holidays, my mom used to say, you know what, let's just you go and visit your dad. You go, and she used to be pushing for it, you understand? Probably in her heart she didn't like him. He beat her up over 20 or whatever many times, but that one time I was there. I'll talk about it next time. But it's so annoying for someone who hasn't paid your fees, and later on in life they send you a message, please send me $200. That's like your biological dad who has never paid anything. You understand?
Yeah.
I think there is a level whereby you have to reach. There's a ceiling where you have to reach and say, when do you put a distinction and say this is stupidity? You understand? You have to. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, people are stupid to a certain level. You have never contributed a cent in someone's life, and then you just come and say, "Oh, I want to reap what I did not sow." Like, which kind of stupidity is this? Sometimes parents, please.
I think it's entitlement.
It's entitlement. See the things we're talking about. Some people, they are just crooked in their minds. Crooked, there are zigzags everywhere. And then when you try to talk about it, oh, that boy is disrespectful or what? Now let me tell you something. I'll be disrespectful the way I want. That's why when I tell them that they should just leave my life alone, and just go, because they reach a point whereby you cannot discuss on the same table with someone who keep on telling you I'm older than you, that sort of thing, that ignorance. Let me tell you, whether someone has more money than you, whether someone has seen many things, they say, I have seen many. Is it this or your mukulu wadugala whatever? Like, that means that a old person's eye, where it's dirty, is where it sees. That is a saying in Uganda.
What does it actually mean? What do they? I thought they meant where it's dark is where it's. I thought they meant the people.
No, Awadugala, they mean that.
I thought Awadugala, they meant the black part.
No, I probably
Anyway.
Probably me, the way I think about it is that probably what they want to say is that when they are telling you that you're doing something wrong, they have seen it before you or something like that. But for me, I put up my hands and I said, you know what, this is too much for me. You Every time I try, sometimes when I try to do something that is right morally, or something that is right in a certain setting, I'm told I'm trying to split the families. Then at what point? Then at that point, I ask myself, for you, when you are beating my mom, weren't you splitting a family? You understand? Or we are not allowed to talk about that. Eh? You know, some. Let's continue with that
today
topic.
Today is gender-based violence day in Uganda. Today was I think it has not always been, but it was made specifically because of Rebecca Cheptegei, who unfortunately was murdered by her partner, I think. He poured on her petrol and she died. Can you believe it? So gender-based violence. So today our point was about speaking out and breaking the stigma, because a lot of times the stigma is on the victims and their families, and it should be on the perpetrators of domestic violence.
Yes, of domestic violence. Because now I told you those days when I was crying over that issue, when I remembered what happened in detail, but we shall talk about that another time. I thought, I started thinking about myself when I'm 3 years old. Probably he beats my mother, she dies. Where would I be? I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be in the UK. I wouldn't have studied. You understand? Because the way he has led his life, probably I would be struggling. I would be somewhere, I don't know. Probably I'll be selling charcoal, maybe in Natete or something like that, or Mitiana, or being some street vendor. Probably I'm doing the same things he has been doing, because it has been. You understand? We know when they're doing some things in a home in a certain way, the kids also take up those behaviors. You understand? And those behaviors carry on to the next generation. So it becomes like a generational curse.
Trauma. It's not a curse, because I feel like those are the people who say it's a curse. It's like they've removed themselves from the situation. It's like, for us in our family, it's a curse. This is what we do, and then they go and do it over and over again. Maybe they also, the person also has to beat their wife because their dad beat their mother, and onwards. And they say it's, I feel like people who say those kind of things are trying to say, oh, it's beyond them. It's supernatural.
And all they say is guma. Like, be strong, be strong. A man is if you leave the home, you have a kid. You understand?
Yeah.
Where will you go? That sort of thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, this thing is going.
So it's a bit off topic, but it's also on topic, because I feel like, because the question was about how I think expectations and reality, and also things that have affected our relationship, and you have now brought up this, but I think the way it would have affected our relationship is that this is some trauma that you experienced.
Because now,
and the trauma obviously affects you as a person, and that affects our relationship as well.
Yeah, because now, me talking about it, it kind of like puts some pressure on my mom, which shouldn't be there. You understand? Okay, yeah, it puts some pressure on my mom for me to find out some information or that, but also my dad, the one who raised me. You see, I'm also putting them in a certain situation. You know how in Uganda it is they don't want to like talk about certain issues because it will cause conflict between the other family. They're also trying to be neutral. You understand it? You know how Ugandans are. They say, you're not supposed to talk about this, you're not supposed to do this, you're not supposed to what. But when is it the right time?
I think,
when is it the right time to say this and this? Now look at that lady, that Kenyan lady that was murdered and burned or whatever. Okay, yeah, she came from Kenya. Then what did she just migrated and what? When that Ugandan lady, when is the right time to criticize and get these criminals? And deal with them? When is it? You understand? You have to ask yourself.
So that's what today is about. It's about because raising awareness and making people talk. Because a lot of times people don't talk, no one wants to be involved, everyone is quiet. And that's because people don't say anything. And so that's what keeps it going on.
But now, Ugandans, they are going to go back to default settings. We have to keep on. You push the thing in the brains, in the coconuts, and then they just sticks inside. Otherwise, they go back into default settings. The same things happen. They say, oh, men are more than this. What? They put the women down. They do what? Me, when that lady was burnt, I sat down and I said, the whole day. I was like,
you were triggered.
Yes, even just like 2 days back when they did the Barry or something, they showed on BBC. Every time I see it, I just become sad. I'm like, this lady. I'm like, I cannot imagine someone. Of course, usually, whatever, men are usually stronger than the lady or something like that. Physically or what? Physically. So I'm wondering, this guy maybe. I don't know what he did to burn out. He just maybe tied out maybe with ropes. So I don't know. I just
He just
imagine.
poured on her. She was coming out of church. He just poured on her
and set fire. So I'm like.
So those are the traumas that you've experienced, and this topic is going to come up a lot because it's one of the significant traumas that Edward has experienced. And the way trauma works, especially when it's unprocessed, is that a part of your brain is kind of stuck there in the past. It's not moving forward. That's why every time you keep on reliving these experiences. So I'm sure if you watch any of our videos, probably it's come up, and it's probably going to come up again. So we're going to use this space to be able to try and just talk about this, because at least for us on our channel, you have the permission to do that. Yeah, you can talk about it as much as you want. And if you don't like it, sorry. It's not about you.
Yeah, probably the ones who did it, they don't want
abusers,
it. The abusers.
So
to you, the abusers, please.
What do you have to say
to the abusers? To the abusers, I think you should just go to bed and sleep, okay?
But now...
What if they are watching?
Okay. No, I thought, tell them to stop it.
Yeah, to the abusers. No, I thought you were saying me to tell the abuser, the actual person who did it. Yeah, I thought you were telling me. I was telling him to just can't sleep because he does not.
I think people who are watching who maybe are abusive, are doing gender-based violence to their partners, for example. If someone is out there,
my friend, you're going to face jail.
They might know it's just a problem. The way Ugandan things are.
Ugandan things are. I just do.
We don't even know.
I don't even know.
What about the victims?
The victims.
What do you have to say to them? What about, actually, I think this is a good example.
Go to the Good Samaritans. Is there a Good Samaritan in whatever in Uganda?
I don't know. But what I mean is that I feel like it would be important for you to speak to someone out there who is in an abusive relationship, who has a young child.
Yeah.
Because you see now, Edward, you're nearly 34 years old.
Yeah.
This incident, because you had a specific traumatic event of witnessing gender-based violence between your parents when you were 3 years. Were you 3 years old?
Yes.
It's now 31 years old, but still a trauma.
31 years after.
31 years after, that trauma is still affecting you.
Yeah,
so,
and I just remember, and I just organized the pieces because of a certain something I was talk about it.
So what would you have to say to a woman who is there? Because a lot of times, I always tell you, I feel like it's not necessary. It's not their wish, but also a lot of times they don't have options. Someone feels stuck. They feel they have no money and all that. But sometimes they feel like they'd rather be there for their child. Yeah. So what would your advice be to someone who's in such a situation and they have a young child? As a former child who was once in that scenario.
Just go back home to your parents. Because my mom went back to her dad's home, then left me with that auntie of mine, of course. When I speak about so that auntie of mine, it's not that
they don't know. They don't need to know that whole history anyway. All your details.
But she helped out. So so you go back, and for me afterwards, when I left my auntie's home and then I went to my grandfather's place, he was like a dad to me because everything he was doing was like a dad. Even when it's the time when I performed badly my report and then I kept it in the bag, I just left it in the bag. He got it and then he told me that, oh, please don't always show this to me. Like, he was kind, like, you understand? He always gave me pocket money. Whenever he was eating food, he would say, oh, bring his plate, and I would sit next to him there, eat. He would tell me stories. He was a professor in fine art. I would also draw with him. You understand?
He was a professor in fine art.
was a professor in fine art.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
You have a lot of artists in your family, it seems.
Yeah.
So I feel like from your story, from what I'm hearing, is that I think you would advise someone to remove their child out of that situation.
Yeah.
You
Just,
at least if you can, because being there is not helpful.
It's not helpful. Yeah.
It's not helpful, and you think you're being there and you're helping your child, but you're not. Because do you know that witnessing gender-based violence is more traumatic to a child than to be physically abused, than if you were the one who was being hit.
Yes.
Were you being hit?
There's a part whereby he pushed me and I hit my head down. With that bomb, he pushed me, my head down. So I always remember that part. I fell down. Then I saw my mom also. She had been slapped. She fell down, tried to. So they left me on the floor as he was pushing her to the what. So as I was trying to get up like this, a bit, you know, when you're falling and you hit your head, you're a bit maybe unconscious a bit. So I tried to go to the door and they had locked it. I tried to knock and nothing. So yeah, I'll tell you the story.
So so the point was that, well, for you now, you had both experiences, but it's worse. It's actually worse to even witness than to be physically abused.
Yeah,
of course, they are all bad, but that's what research has found.
Yeah, because me, I saw the pre-domestic violence. I just saw it's about to happen. I just saw him removing the belt, what like different thing. Then I see the process. Yeah. Then I see the aftermath. Yeah. Then all in all that, nothing is talked about. I grow up, nothing is talked about. I'm what? Yeah. I'm banned from talking about it. But for them, they talk about it, even with other people. So, and then other people come and tell me. So, anyway.
So it's very traumatic, and so ideally, try and find a way if you can. Of course, we appreciate it's very, very difficult, and a lot of times, I think I saw somewhere they said that someone in an abusive relationship, on average, tries at least 4 to 7 times before actually leaving. So people don't just wake up. So if you were to ask your mom her story, she didn't just wake up one day. It's a long and difficult process. So I also want to appreciate that it's not easy. People are it's very difficult financially, emotionally, mentally. Yeah, but the trauma that has brought to you also, I feel like it's a great trauma that affects even our relationship. So for example, you know, children, the problem is children think everything is about them. So even when they see things going wrong, they feel like they are the cause of the things going wrong. And so do you feel like maybe you kind of you were the cause, like that 4-year-old, 3-year-old version of yourself? Do you feel like it was your fault in any way?
No, because he later on, my dad tells me he's the one who came by himself and he said, I beat her because she came back late. So I was like, what is going on? Like, came back late? What? You see, that's the thing with African culture. Like, she came back late, but for me, when I remember, I was there and the day was a bit like bright and that sort of like almost like sunset and what. And at that time, if I'm certain, it must have been like 7:30, between either 7:30, 6:30. I'm not sure because I couldn't tell the time when I'm young. I could not see the clock, but I knew there was a clock, there was a TV and everything. Everything, but I could not but I knew outside it was, and even the neighbor had put later on when the fight was going on, because it took some time, the neighbor opened the door. So by the time the neighbor used to open that door, probably it was like around maybe 8 o'clock or something like that. So I don't see any reason, and for me myself, where I blame myself, of course, I get that feeling that I should have done something because I stood up and I tried to push him over and punch him or something like that. So when I go back, I feel like I should have maybe eaten more food or something, and maybe I'd have had the power to maybe push him or do something.
Yeah. How you are 4 years old? 3?
3.
So you are like Jojo right now.
Yeah.
Jojo is 3 or 4. Do you see when Jojo is very angry?
Yeah.
And then she comes and starts trying to beat you.
Yes.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
Does it make an impact on you?
Because I don't think about it that much.
No, I mean Jojo. When Jojo comes and she's trying, like when she's angry and she's punching.
Of course not. No. It's like It's like light work. It's like Gulliver Travels and the other Lutiputs, whatever those guys.
Yeah. So you know what I mean is that you are also the same as Jojo. Like you are the same size as Jojo. So imagine Jojo and an adult. So can you imagine Jojo blaming herself that, oh, she should have eaten more food? However much food she could have eaten. Do you know however much food you would have eaten?
Yeah, it is very
But there's still a part of your mind as a child that thinks like that.
Yes.
And so I hope you don't. Anyway, I don't know if that makes you
feel better. I got over it.
You think?
Yeah, I got over it after talking to him and seeing that really he's just not worth my time. He's not worth my life and not worth my, because his way of thinking is like on the South Pole and I'm like at the North Pole, and it's like, you understand?
Yeah.
Yeah, they say like unlike poles attract, but no, this time it's like it didn't work completely. You know, like you're seeing someone is going, but this person has like so many people around him, encouraging him, supporting him financially, especially supporting all his things, and he's falling, he's irresponsible, and that's not what I want in my life.
Yeah. Anyway, so I think I'm going to ask some of the questions that we were asked on my Instagram. Yeah. So the first question is, before we run out of time, because right now one of our kids is napping, two of them are watching TV, and so they probably won't last long. We have to be quick. So the first question is, do you ever have uncomfortable conversations?
Yeah. With you, with other
me.
people. Yes, we do.
What was the last uncomfortable conversation we had?
You remind me.
I actually remember we had an uncomfortable conversation. It was about some conflict in the wider family. So we have uncomfortable conversations. But do you find it easy? How easy do you find it to have uncomfortable conversations?
I find it easy because for me, I tell you my perspective. And for example, I tell you that what I told you. I don't want to say it because...
Yeah, we don't have to talk about the conversation. But the issue is, how do we approach uncomfortable conversations in general?
Generally, for me on my side, I usually tell you my side, how it is. Then I recognize your side, how it is, and how you behave in a certain way. You understand? Because we have contradicting theories of how to handle different things.
Yes.
The end result. For you have your way, I also have my way.
Yes.
But then I tell you that it's this and this. But generally it's just like a discussion. It's not, to me it's just a discussion. It's just like you can be there, but I don't get disappointed in any way, because I know it's just life.
But I feel like it takes us a while to get to the uncomfortable conversation because you don't want to talk about it. A lot of times you first try and not talk about, you claim that you're fine, but then after a while we do have uncomfortable conversations, but it's usually led by you, in that it's when now you're ready to talk about it that we'll talk about it. If you're not ready to talk about it, we will not.
Yeah, it's because I want to analyze and I see if I went wrong, if this, then I investigate. I see, what happened, this and that.
You first think about it.
Yeah, so I first think about it and I see and I measure my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the next question is lessons learned, and one of the lessons I've learned is that, first of all, we are different people, and so that's one of the things. Like for me, for instance, sometimes I want to talk about something there and then, but for you don't want to talk about it, and so there is no point if you're not ready to talk about it. So I just leave you and I also live my life, and then eventually, usually, you're the one who brings it up if something has been bothering you.
Any other lessons?
Any lessons you have learned? Yeah.
I've learned that never judge people when you're in a group. That is the lesson I've learned.
Is that a lesson you've learned in life, or in the marriage?
Even in the marriage. Because sometimes
you mean as a group of two, for example?
No, not two.
That's what
when you
I mean.
Other people.
Yeah, but now we're talking about lessons in the marriage.
Thank
you for your lesson, but we want marriage-related lessons. Yeah.
Marriage lessons. Usually, what I've learned is that it's not about. I mean, what I've learned is that roles can change. You know, like traditionally,
Yes.
the what? The man is supposed to go to work. The woman is supposed to be home and cook.
Yes.
And what?
Yeah.
But when I came into this thing, of course, I knew the possibilities there for me to be at home with the kids and all that.
Did you really? We didn't talk about it in advance.
Yeah, I didn't talk about it in advance,
kind of just happened.
But as in, like, I wasn't worried about it or the change or what. But maybe the thing of maybe people out there telling me that, oh, give me money, this, some money or this, and what were the Ugandan people, and then I'm like, guys, I don't work, or I'm at home, or I'm taking care of the kids, and then they look at you like you're lying or something. You understand? Especially like that time I told you of the relatives. Someone told me that, oh, school fees, the kids, and what whatever, your dad's kids and what. So I told them that I'm not working. Then they asked me again after some time, I'm not working. Then you start noticing that some people don't reply your WhatsApps in that other family, and you know, that sort of thing. And then they simply don't understand that, you know, where
so
we are.
The lesson is that roles can change.
Yes, roles can change, and you have to be strong and understand that those people who are trying to push you aside, or like they don't care about you, at the end of the day they don't put food on your table.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Because after all those years, what we have achieved is great. You understand? I've achieved my dreams.
Have you achieved your dreams?
Yeah. Now don't you see
what
me?
Are your dreams?
You see me now. I think wasn't, you know, now. I'm just here. I'm about to get a British citizenship thing, and you're just there.
That's your biggest dream.
I think which other dream do you want? Abantu bali eri bakaba enjala ebaluka bakola biki you just there odawo gogamba it's not a dream. Do you know how many people want to be in my position?
I know. So you're grateful.
You know? Of course I'm grateful.
You have a lot of gratitude and you're content.
Yes, but then when I talk about it, people say nedaga.
But aren't you better with agamo?
What do you want? The problem. That's the problem with people. when you see me, I'm heading for the gundi, for the Banteke Chambi, Eduardo, bati you deserve to be British. We love you so much here in the UK, Britain. In fact, if we are next time when you come back here, we're going to call you Sir Edward Mukiibi or something. If you see me, a Ugandan, and right now I'm a permanent resident, and then next year I'm going to be a British citizen. Why shouldn't you be happy? I'm happy for you. Because if I'm doing good, I don't know why people get so angry and jealous and what, because someone is in another position. You yourself, maybe you're in Uganda, you built your house, you have your kids, you probably have your wife and maybe 2 other side dishes. I'll be happy for you. Maybe every evening when you're from work, instead of going back home, ogula kilo y'ennyama ey'okutwala ewaka n'ogitereka mu motoka, then maybe n'ogenda n'okola ki, n'olya akabizi oba oba n'onywa n'omwenge ne bakwano bo ne musanyuka. I'll be happy for you. With you anyway. Buli omu abeere bibye basically. Kugamba buli omu abeere bibye, but not in a bad way. Not in a bad way, bannange. Yeah? Not in a bad way. I don't want violence. These days I want peace. Okay. Just be happy that your boy, Edward Mukiibi, he's soon cured. That was a good lesson of roles can change. The other lesson, I think maybe the video will be too long, so let's just move on to the next question. The next question was, how did you manage your worst conflict? My worst conflict? With me, not at other people. The worst conflict was probably maybe a financial conflict. Is that I finally, for me, when we're in a conflict, I do what you want, I do it. Then later on, I come back with violence. Not physical violence, please. Like just words. You do what you want also. No. Not that. What I mean is that when I do what you want, then I come back, and then like after some time, and I remind you, I'm like, but you this and this and that and that and that. That's my method.
So you keep quiet.
Yeah, I do it. It hurts me. I keep quiet. Then I keep you. Then I come back
and tell me about it.
Then I tell you about it. But after a long time, but it hurt me. But that's so at first some resistance. Then I do it. Then I keep.
But you say that having that thing of something that is hurting you and you're not saying is hurting you also more.
Yeah, it's hurting me also, but for me it's not like I'll think about it every day and be angry. What like we just be, I've understood that I've done this. Of course I won't do something if I won't give in and do something if it is going to oppress me. You see, I will do something if I know it's beneficial. So generally,
that's how you handle conflicts then.
Yeah, I won't do something.
You pretend peace.
Yes, I pretend peace because it doesn't make a point. So I pretend peace and then I do your thing.
But it's not true peace.
Yeah, it's not true. It's not true peace. So I do your thing, I do it, then I leave. But then when I leave, it's not that every day I'll think about it. Yeah. I leave it. I leave it. Normally, I don't even think about it. But after some time, when something else happens, maybe you've done something, and that's when it comes back, and then I say, "Gwe, obadechi, tojukira, eriembo wajiwadde mmere, amagumba wagalidde, musiru nnyo ddala." Like that. So that's how I come back. Why are you laughing?
So anyway, I think, Edward, you fear conflict. You don't want us to be in conflict. So therefore, you over agree, even like you've said, even when you don't agree, but because you want to keep the peace.
For me on my side, it's not about keeping the peace because I prefer not having peace. But it's okay. For me, it's not about keeping the peace. For me, it's about not wasting time. Because
you want to move on.
I want to move on because wasting time, you rather give in and then later on you apologize and then you realize why you were in a mistake or something like that. Because honestly, there is no reason why you should argue. You understand? There is no.
Yeah, but the thing is, Edward, you can have an uncomfortable conversation and you're not arguing. That's what you struggle with.
Yeah, you can have an uncomfortable conversation, but again, it comes to conflict. There's a certain friction that will be there.
Yes.
Because a certain person becomes. But then.
So you have to be used to that.
Now what is getting used to it when you're going to say it is A, then you say it is B. It is A. I said it's B. It's a blue A. It's a red B. You understand? Nothing. So you and then that is it. So it will never end.
So that is the thing. And me, I have a feeling that your past traumas we've spoken about earlier also come into this. That I feel like maybe you're worried that it's going to become real physical violence. And so you're like, you don't even want to. Could that be it?
No. I don't think about it in that way. But generally, I just, because I feel like I have things to do. Like I'm telling you, I'm like this one is wasting my time. I probably, because I'm like, okay, sometimes I be calculating my time engagement. You see, sometimes you can be telling me things. Then I'm like, you tell me things. You tell me why I went to work. Then I what? Then we drank tea. Then don't you know? Sometimes I complain and I tell you that, but you're saying so much. Why don't you get the point? Then I drank tea. Then what? Then so and so came. Then what? Then we did this. Then what? Then what? So I'm like,
what's the moral of the story?
Not the moral of the story. Like I feel like it's taking a lot of time. Because in that time probably maybe I would be playing the guitar, maybe singing, maybe playing Xbox, maybe football games or something like that. But then for you, like the thing is like, and the thing you say is, it's not going to the point. But I feel like you're saying common things like, oh, I walked 3 steps, then I went to the bathroom. Then I realized there was no air freshener, so I feared to use it. Then I went back to my desk. So it's like you haven't told me anything. You just told me that you went to the bathroom and didn't find air freshener. Then do you understand?
Yes. So that's such an important point because it has reminded me another lesson I have learned is to make myself happy, do things that make me happy, or to meet my own needs where I can. Because we are different people. Also, I can't control you and I shouldn't be trying to control you. And also, I should just try and control myself.
Yes.
So, for example, sometimes I have long conversations with my friends, which I wouldn't have with you. So, like, I can talk to Carol for like an hour.
What?
Yeah.
An hour?
Yes.
Carol.
And
Carol.
and
Carol.
do you want me to talk to you for an hour?
No. About what? What would be?
Are you seeing?
And wait. Eh? Carol, what are you talking about?
But this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about things. We'll have a conversation, and you see, if I try and have a similar conversation with you, you will start telling me how I'm not getting to the point.
If it is an hour, no. Salongo. Eh? Carol. What? An hour with Carol for what? Why are you talking with Carol for 1 hour?
Do you want me to talk to you for the hour?
No, but don't you have other things to do?
No.
Carol,
I don't have things to do.
Eh? Carol,
it's not about her.
Put in the comments. Why are you an hour? And all of you who are also commenting, comment on Carol's comment and whatever, and ask her why is it an hour? Come on, 1 hour.
But the point where I've raised no.
You see me when I'm talking to Greg Daniels. I talk. If you also talk
to Greg a lot, actually.
Yeah, if it's an hour, it's serious business. You also talk to Salon. But now for you, even Salon,
which serious business?
And for you, you failed to declare your business. You're just saying how we are talking. Me, I've told you that if I'm talking to Greg, we are talking about serious projects. Yeah? If I'm talking to Salongo, we are talking about serious projects. Yeah? It's either Salongo is either Arsenal.
That's a more serious project. For you.
Yes. So the conversation is not, at least every 5 minutes, the topic changes. So we can decide an agenda. We are talking about Arsenal.
You even have an agenda?
Yes. We will have minutes. Hey, talk about Arsenal. Talk about Haaland, how he has become a problem and needs to be dealt with. Saliba's role in life. Yeah, so such things, you see.
And transfer deadline also.
And transfer deadline day, such things. For us men, we have issues that...
Not all men.
Okay, not all men. We have things that unite us.
Even us, we have things that unite us.
But how come you're not saying the point, Carol, for 1 hour, please?
Don't go off topic too much. The point, what I was trying to say was that we have different needs and we are not going to meet each other's own needs. So, for example, if you have a need to talk about Saliba and Arsenal and transfer deadline and all those things, will you talk to me about it?
But you're not interested in Arsenal. You're a Man City fan. By the way...
but the thing is, but also I've made progress. So actually, I understand...
Up to now, I don't understand why you support Man City.
I'm sorry. But you know why I support Man City.
I know because you went to their stadium.
And also Arsenal wins. All my jobs, I've got them from Etihad
Stadium. You went there for it first.
That's where they used to do interviews for training.
And then they gave you porridge.
Yeah. Yes. And so therefore, I had a soft spot for Etihad. But also, I support teams that win. Yeah.
You wait.
So anyway,
you think your guy, but I'm telling you, Arsenal is going to become a problem here. You'll be crying to come into my team, and I'm promising you won't be registered.
I will come. I can just come if
you won't be registered. I'm going to tell Arsenal fans to deny you. You stay in your team and you face the punishment. And even your team, it has cases in court. This is what I'm gonna pull up.
It's okay. So anyway, the point is that we have different needs. I cannot meet all your needs. You cannot meet all my needs, and I can get my needs met in various places. So if I want to have a long conversation with a friend about whatever it is that I want to talk about, I will do that. I will not come and start imposing and expecting you to have a conversation with me to listen in the same way that I would want. You see, it's a lesson I've learned in marriage, by the way, so far, that I think is really helpful. The other question that someone asked was, finances in marriage, handling finances and sharing costs. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, you just go to work, bring money, put it on the table, then make a budget, and that's it.
Yes.
So, but in my case, I used to have
You're the one
worry.
who does the budget, actually.
Yeah, the one who does the budget. But in my case, I used to worry a lot because now I was home and then I'm not bringing money and all that. But then you told me that the work I'm doing would be paying a lot of money for it, which is a lot of.
That is how we share the costs, actually.
Yeah, because
if you are not there, the cost of child
care would be like about £2,000
exactly
a month.
Exactly.
Then that's 3 kids, that's £6,000, and that is more than your salary, I think. Yeah,
exactly. So that is sharing the costs, in that there's that cost of childcare that is big. So our cost of childcare is all provided by Edward.
Yeah, but
the budget is big.
But the problem is that
because we have 3 kids.
The external factors, when you're there doing the thing, then you get demotivated. Someone's calling you, please send me money, please send me. And you're like, man, please.
And I stop calling Edward, asking him for money.
I've warned them several times on different
videos.
Want to
listen,
People, why don't you want to listen?
Anyway, so that's how we share costs. Is actually the cost of childcare. But how about chores, household things, housework?
I prefer I do all that, because usually I stop you when you want to do that. I do that.
Why? Because I feel like I want to help.
Because it's not more of you, it's more of what I've seen before. It's more of I've seen like the men back home, they don't do anything. So I feel like I want to do it. It's kind of like because I know the thing is, Edward, because I have also been stay at home for some time in our relationship. I was stay at home with Gabby when we had one child and you were going to work. Yes. And I know what it's like, that you're also tired. The whole day, it's not like you've been at home relaxing. You've been doing a lot with all these kids. It's a lot of work. And so I know that you're tired. I can't just come and also do nothing. So I have to also help with the things. But you just leave me. Just let me do it. But I told you that when you start being resentful, will you tell me? Or you will now tell me 5 years later? Yeah, I'll tell you. You won't even tell me. Keep it like 60 years later. I don't know how old will I die. So whatever I'll be. I think we try and do everything, because at least sometimes when you cook, then I wash the dishes. So I haven't cooked in a long time, actually. You haven't cooked in a long time. So mostly I wash dishes. And then I also mostly do the laundry. Yeah. Because Edward doesn't like the laundry. I do the laundry. Don't like folding. Especially clothes. Folding. Edward might do the clothes in the washer and dryer, but he didn't like the folding part. So I think we kind of ended up tending to do the things that we prefer. Because even me now, I like folding laundry. I used to hate it, but I like it because then I can multitask and listen to a podcast or something. So anyway, guys, the video has become long. Someone is knocking at the door. We're going to end it here. Hope you like the video. Give it a like. Let us know your thoughts below. And let us know what kind of videos we should do next. Yeah. Bye.